Good afternoon, everybody. I have no slides. The way I work is it's all up here. So I would prefer you just ask me questions. I will take 10 minutes, tell you a little bit about me, tell me what I've done, what my experiences are. But really, to make this thing work, in my experience, it's better if you just ask me questions, and then I'll give you my perspective on things. I created Tyrek officially 2011, but I started the process in 2005. I am a die-hard sports fan. There is nobody in the world that likes sports more than I do. And my business model was simple. How do you take a passion for sports and fuse that with the mind for business and make it work? So, we were sitting in a bar in Belgium, and a friend of mine, my football team, by the way, is Liverpool, from England. A friend of mine was telling me how he's a bigger Liverpool fan than I am. And so we're arguing back and forth who's the bigger fan, who's seen more games, who's got more memorabilia. And we were talking, and we realized that, you know something? We have everything Liverpool except footwear. So I said, oh, well, tomorrow I'll call Liverpool, I'll find out where I can buy it. And when I called them, the lady said to me, we don't have any. I thought she meant they had sold out. She goes, no. We don't make footwear. I say, you don't make footwear? What do you mean you don't make footwear? You make clothes, you make chess pieces, you make glasses, cups, plates, you make everything, but you don't make footwear. She said, well, let me explain something to you. And this is where my education started. If you look at any sport, most of the sponsors of those sports are footwear manufacturers. Adidas, Nike, Under Armour, Puma, Converse, they sponsor them, their footwear. So what they do is they make a deal with the team that says, if I sponsor you, you can make any footwear. And I said to myself, what idiot agreed to that deal? The fans don't care about Adidas. They don't care about Nike. I made a deal with the Rajasthan Royals, the Kings 11 Punjab, the Delhi Daredevils, okay? The fans care about those teams. They don't care who makes the shoes. They don't care who makes the uniform. They care about the team. I was telling the lady, I said, look, I don't know of anybody who walks around with a Nike tattoo. But you know something? I know people who have Manchester United tattoos on their body. I know people who have Liverpool tattoos on their body. I am sure if I went through India, I will find millions of people who have Delhi Daredevils tattoo on their bodies. But I don't think I'm going to find Adidas. I don't think I'm going to find Under Armour. So she said, well, if you don't like it, why don't you go make it? I said, you're right. That's how it started, in a bar in Belgium in 2005. So I started to do some research, and I called all the football teams in Europe, and I kind of realized nobody had it. And I said, this doesn't make sense. How come nobody has it? All the fans you have around the world, and you don't think to make a shoe with the logos of your team? You have the jersey, it has the team logo on it, so why wouldn't you do a shoe? So we started getting into the licensing part. We started to ask questions, and we started to ask, how can we get involved? Licensing is expensive. Don't come into it thinking you're going to make a quick dollar or a quick rupee. It doesn't work that way. Licensing is expensive, but it's also profitable. If you do it correctly, like almost anything in life, you can make profits at it. We just finished doing a deal with the IPL, the teams of the IPL. We just got a contract signed with the ICC Cricket for the World Cup. We expect in the next week or so to have the license for the Rugby World Cup. We were supposed to meet here with Manchester City, but they didn't show up, so I'll see them in England. We have some of the biggest brands in the world. Real Madrid is a client. AC Milan will be a client. The Brazilian national team will be a client. We have England Rugby as a client. We're going to have Wales Rugby as a client. We have a number of the biggest brands in the world. And the reason that I think we'll be successful is when I created my company, all my team members understand something. First, we only do team sports. We don't do individual sports. You've heard people say before, in this day and age, we celebrate bad behavior. You want to be famous, do something stupid. You'll be in every newspaper in the world. You become famous right away. But it can also hurt a brand. So if you're an individual, a boxer, a tennis player, or an athlete of some kind, you are the brand. The person is the brand. So if you do something foolish, and I have thousands of product to sell, because of your actions, that could hurt my business. So as a rule, we never, ever do individual brands. We always do team sports. Can somebody in the team do something foolish? Yes. But the probability that one person or two people will do something so bad that is going to destroy the team, it's not likely. What happens, you probably get traded. That's it. They get rid of you. But the team will still be there. So we, as a rule, one of our licensing approaches is we only go after team licenses, never individual licenses. Secondly, we like to go with brands where the owners are willing, the licensors are willing to make an investment. You've heard people say in the panel all day long, it's a partnership. It's not a one-way street. Now, as a licensee, in many instances, I have a disadvantage because the brand owners say, well, you came to me because I have a famous brand. I've already built the brand, so I don't need you to do it. It's done already. The reason why you came is because everybody in the world knows my name. People like Manchester City, Manchester United, Liverpool, they like Arsenal, they like Real Madrid, they like Barcelona. The names are already there, they're already built. You are not required to do that. So when you deal with licensors, oftentimes they don't approach you as an equal partner. They look at you as if, well, I'm doing you a favor, you're making money off my name. So it's a very, very tough business to get the licensor to do something extra for you. They don't want to do it. One of the things I always ask them to do when I sign an agreement is, I need you to let everybody, all your fans, know that we're an official licensee of your product. Because credibility is a very, very big thing for consumers. How do I know this is not a fake? How do I know this is real? Well, one of the ways you know that is because I'm an authorized licensee. So we make sure that the licensor send notices, flyers out to all the fans. Secondly, we send them flyers. We custom make flyers of whatever the product is, and we say, because of confidentiality issues, you cannot give me the names of all your fans around the world, millions and millions of fans. You can't do that. But you can send our information to all of them and let them know where to find the product. So that's the other way we get around that. We say, you do it. It's to your benefit. It helps your royalties. It helps your minimum guarantees. So you do that. Second thing you do. The third thing that we typically do when we go after a license agreement, we look at the market. I am not interested in a local market. Every license agreement I have is worldwide. Everyone. The ICC Cricket World Cup, I have worldwide rights. IPL, that's how we're going to do it. I'm not interested. Why? In my experience, I found out that when you are limited to a particular region of the world, we're based in New York, but we have offices in London, Paris, Caribbean, Antigua. We're opening up one in South America, Central America, and we're going to do one in Asia Pacific. Let's assume somebody has the license to make footwear for Europe. And let's assume that I had the license to make footwear for North America. We have the same brand, okay? Pick any team in the IPL. So you have Europe, I have North America. If the person in Europe makes a horrible product, the consumer doesn't say, oh, the European shoe's bad. They just simply say, the shoes are bad, which then ripples over to you in North America. So you might be doing a very good job, but because you can't control what somebody else is doing, you might suffer for that. So when I go and I sit with a licensor and we negotiate, if worldwide rights are not there, if it's not there, 9 times out of 10, I'm not interested. 9 times out of 10, I'm not interested. The only time where I have made an exception, the only time, is when it's at the World Cup level. It's such a big event that, okay, I'm willing to take that risk. So the FIFA World Cup, the Cricket World Cup, the Rugby World Cup. Okay, if you tell me, Michael, I can't give you worldwide rights, but I can give you all of the Americas plus Europe, but you can't have Asia because I've already given that to somebody else, we can have a conversation. But if it's a club team, if it's not worldwide rights, I'm not interested. Because it's too much of a risk. As I said at the start of this, licensing is expensive. And I can't put in the hundreds of thousands or the millions of dollars into creating a project and then have somebody else who really doesn't care, who's not as passionate, destroy it. So for me, if it's not worldwide, more often than not, I'm not. And the exception, as I said, would only happen at a World Cup event level. Otherwise, I'm not really interested.